What's going on, everybody? Tim here, the Kentucky Board Gamer. And if I look like I'm pouring sweat, that's because I am. The reason for that is this game called Game of Energy by Nathan Wright. And what does that mean about me sweating? Well, he is a slave driver. Let me tell you. He worked so hard at getting this game done and getting everything up to date and to the best of his abilities, and smooth playing and fun and everything else, that he has got me sweating so much because I am so excited for the Kickstarter campaign, which ironically has started today at 11 a.m. this morning, and it is 5:30ish. July 26th. So be sure to check that out after you check out this video. This is just going to be a quick review of the game, and basically what Game of Energy is: there is an energy crisis going on over the world, and you are a captain of industry, and there are a few different ones here, and players will get one of these at the beginning of the turn. You shuffle them up, you draw one, pick one, however you want to disperse them to the other players, but it's randomly done. And each captain of industry has its own special abilities on it. So one might say buy 2 nuclear, yeah, you can't buy 2. Buy 2 hydroelectric and you get a discount. Alright, there's other ones as well, but that's just a quick example. Now, you also have this beautiful board, and the board itself, the artwork is amazing. I'm gonna attempt to turn the camera down so you could see it a little bit better, because you have to. So check that out. I mean, it's just great. Now, to save myself from sweating all over this copy, I'm going to hurry up and get back over here. Now, after you get your captain of industry, everybody starts with $110, I believe it is, and you're going to go through the game taking turns and buying up industries. And there's a more green method and a, well, let's just say a less green method. And you've got different industries here, which you have solar, you have wind, you have hydroelectric, biofuel, fossil fuel, and nuclear. Now, when you buy one of these, what you're going to do is you'll first have to, start your turn. I'm jumping all over here, but bear with me. Like I said, sweat, slave driver, not my fault. So we'll start a turn here, and we're going to say that I roll this die, and this die, it has every one of these different locations on it. In these different locations, you have tundra, you have mountain, shoreline, and flatlands. And there are 2 of everything except tundra and flatlands. So you can pick which one to build, but you can't build on both at the same time. Like, you can't permit on 2 different ones. If you pick one for that turn, you have to build on that one or permit on that one. So anyway, I had rolled a tundra, and there are all of them on here, as well as this symbol, which I will get to in just a minute. So on the tundra, we've got these handy dandy little cards here, and these are reference cards that show the different prices of the different areas. Now, tundra is this one here, so we're going to look at that one. And on there, you've got biofuel, fossil fuel, hydroelectric, nuclear, solar, and wind, and they all go right down in order. And there's a little red arrow which is showing your cost for each one. There's also a green arrow. Where's it at? There, and that is going to show you how much you earn. And then you have the terawatt hours, and the terawatt hours are basically your victory points. The currency in the game, the credits, energy credits, are not necessarily of anything other than buying, and they could be used as a tiebreaker, but that really don't happen too much, so they're there for mostly buying. So now, the way that these things work is we're going to use a couple of these cubes just to show what happens here, because I noticed that this is a review copy and I don't have everything in here because it's the upgraded review copy. Now, you'll have two cubes, or two pieces, tokens. They'll be here on 0, and that's for blue. Blue will also have 2 on 0 over here, and this is where you keep track of your money and your energy credits. So let's say that in the Tundra we purchased, we have $110, so we're going to say we purchased 2 biofuel. Now 2 biofuel in the Tundra is 50. So that's, or well, 1 is 50, so 100. So we'll take a biofuel, and we're going to put 1 here, and I have more. They're in here, I promise. But this, again, for the review. So we're going to put 1 here and another 1 there. Now, our currency would go up, our energy credits would go up 30, and then another 30 to 60 because we bought 2. So you also have your terawatt hours. Terawatt hours on this one in particular are 50. So we would go up 50 for 1, 100 for 2. So it goes along like that, and as you get to, we'll say, in the thousands, so we have 1,000 here and 1,350. So you hit 1,000, 350. So now you got 1,350. And the same concept works as well for the currency, the energy credits. If we have 165, you'll go all the way over to 100, and then you'll go to 65. Now, it's really simple, real easy to keep track of. On top of all this stuff, this is the crash course. There are these energy cards, and I'm sure you've probably been wondering what in the world these were. Well, I probably should have talked about them a little bit earlier. Once it's your turn, you have to draw one, and you can always have 1 in hand, but at the end of your turn, if you have 2, you have to play 1. And there are ones that are communal, so they'll happen to everybody, including yourself. And then there are ones that are targeted, so you can target them on a specific player. And there is also one in here that would be played and stay out permanently unless another one would be played. Now, that one I won't get too into detail. There's different reasons for that, but there are also fact cards, and the fact cards are let's see here, let's see if he's got these up to date. Nuclear power plants currently use fission, which splits atoms, but a similar process called fusion, which combines atoms, is what powers the sun. Hopefully he'd have that one right. So anyway, that would be worth 10 credits. So I would, put it on the bottom of the stack, get 10 credits back from the banker. Another thing to notice is, let's see here, you have ones that take away, which are red, and you have ones that, how was it? Provide power to another player, make up. Okay, so these go to the bank. Any money that's owed goes to the bank. The orange ones go to a player, and the green ones mean that you gain that money. So, with all that being said, in this train wreck of a review, there's also some really cool stuff here. Now, you have a phone ringing off to the side, which I'm sure my lovely wife will get, or my daughter. So give me just 1 second. It's right over there. Thank you. So anyway, you have your die. It does all that. I don't know. I guess it might have like ran away or something, but there is also a 12-sided die that sits right here. I don't see it. Maybe I knocked it down. Oh, there it went when I landed it. So, nothing happened there. You have a 12-sided die. This 12-sided die is strictly for the review copies as far as I know, and it is just to keep track of your rounds, so somewhat to set the difficulty of the round. And by the end of that round, if there is not a winner, nobody wins. That's right. Everybody loses. So you're playing against each other, but you're all unified in the fact that you are playing against a countdown. So it is not a co-op game. It has take that elements. It has somewhat area control, although it's not really area control. Nathan knows what I mean, don't you? Yes, you do. And what I'm referring to is if we place, so we'll say a blue player has this biofuel down that I placed, and we'll say a green player places this down. Well, if there were not enough room, so we'll put it like this. Say this area in particular, there was not enough room. However, you are allowed to move them all around to make the room, so long as, you know, it's a legal thing. You cannot go out of the bounds. That's basically what I'm poking at right there. Is just, you know, it is and it isn't area control. I just love giving them a hard time about this. So anyway, that is the game in a nutshell. Now, there's a couple things that I'd like to touch on, and those are the fact that you have awesome artwork. You also have these cards here, which I did not talk about. When you roll that, the credit symbol, it is completely gone blank from my mind what the heck it is actually called. I apologize. You get to choose from these cards. Now in these cards, you have good and bad, red and green. Well, green and red. So you'll shuffle them up, and we're going to say somebody holds them out for me to take one, and I take that one. Okay, that was a green one, which is a positive. And it says, some progress has been made, collect 10 energy credits. Now, what these basically are, they are like investments. Okay, so this is unknown territory as far as the business, the company. And this is an investment that you have personally made on some sort of technology. So, should you draw a green one, like I did, you would get a benefit. Alright, and the benefit being that, yes, something was successful, so you got some energy credits out of it. Now there are also these red ones, and these red ones simply mean it's failed technology. So it's something that you invested in and it didn't work out. Sorry about your luck. And you'll lose money. In that case of that card there, it is a bit off a bit more than you could chew. Lose 30 energy credits. And these are a really nice thing, because once you rolled that and you pick this, you take a card, you get to pick wherever you want to permit new industry at. And that being said, you know, it really opens the table, the board for you. So that's something to really consider. Don't pass up on that. I wouldn't. So anyway, a couple things I'd like to point out here. In the Kickstarter, there are dummy core, and this is a free expansion. And why do I use the quotes like that? Well, because this isn't needed to enjoy this game. It is not something that you have to have. However, if you're like me and don't always have somebody to play a game with, solo, that's what these are for. So they really expand on it, and it's not bad. I hate when you have a dummy player. I hate when it's just me playing another hand and another hand and another hand. I don't like that. It's just something personal. It is not as fun to me as playing against the game. Now, that being said, Dummy Corp, it is another player. However, it's not the same. It's not like you're playing their hand for them. It's actually pretty cool as to how this works. So I would highly recommend that you pick up the Kickstarter with this in it, because if you do, you'll see what I mean. It's a little different than just playing an empty hand, more or less, or an empty player. So that's one thing that I like. Now, another thing, the art. I don't know how many times I have to say that. The art is just beautiful. It is amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Kiss butt, kiss butt, kiss butt. It's awesome. And it really is, honestly. So, you have the art, you have the cards. The art on the cards is also great. It's a little straightforward as far as your energy cards and your energy credit cards. Credit cards. You know, it's straightforward. But then, you know, you also have your your captains of industry, and their artwork is really good. It's on these cards, and it's also on the box. So the art that's on here is on here. It's another good thing. And the last thing that I really like about this particular game is that the guy who made it, he is that. He is just a guy. And what I mean is he has put his heart and his soul into the game. He has actually become a good friend of mine. So this isn't a biased opinion. I liked the game before I ever, you know, associated myself with him. Believe that if you'd like, but it is entirely true. So he's a great guy, and he's done all this work. I don't know how, just, I won't even go there. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say to you. The only things I can really think of are buy this game, back it on Kickstarter, and you will not be disappointed. So, since this is a big business game, there's only one thing left to do, and we are going to take this right here, and we're going to make it rain.